I do learn a lot from watching murder shows. I learned so much. I learned recently that I should never start my day like any other. For those of you who haven't seen a murder show, normally when a white woman starts her day like any other, she is murdered later that day. So I try and do things a little bit differently when I wake up. This morning, I got out of bed first thing in the morning. I went outside. I stared directly into the sun for a few minutes. And then I got completely naked and I ran around the block saying, "This is not like any other day." And I haven't been murdered yet.
I am bougie. White people think I'm a safe person to run all their casual racism by because I enjoy Paul Thomas Anderson films and I brunch. I do fucking love to brunch. Okay. Brunch, yes. Oh, we have some converts over here. Brunch. Woo! All right. I don't have to tell you that it is a sacred meal that's shared and enjoyed by straight women and homosexual men. Okay, where we bond over our shared love of wide brim hats and dick. I treat this meal with so much respect that I begin every single brunch order with just a high-pitched, "Is it possible?" That way my server knows it's okay to spit in my mimosa. Just 2 times, 1 for each foot I'm missing.
I tried to date and the young women are doing too much. Y'all are nastier than I remember. This. What happened to missionary? We doing new shit. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. My last day before I started dating my wife, the woman said something in bed that made me start going to church, and I'm Muslim. It was a lot. There's a lot happening. I'm hitting it from the back doing regular things, you know, and she turns around, she goes, "Yeah, that's right, nigga. Choke me and spit in my mouth." I said, "Madison." I don't think you can say that word, you know what I'm saying? And also, because...
For those of you I don't know, it's a birthmark, that's what it is. It doesn't lower my self-esteem enough for me to fuck you. Although sometimes people do stare and I am like, "Hey buddy, eyes down here." When I wear a mask, my mask sits right here and covers my birthmark, so I'm just walking around as one of you. Ugh. I meet new people while I'm wearing a mask all the time, right? And eventually I take my mask off and they see my birthmark for the first time, and every single time the reaction is the same. It's always exactly like when you see a man take his hat off, and you're like, "That hairline is not where I thought it was going to be." Well played.
I love my baby. I'm very excited to be a mom. I had a child later in life. It's known as advanced maternal age. It used to be called geriatric pregnancy. The actual medical term for it, though, is old pussy. I have a very old pussy. You can't tell, but my vagina is actually using a walker to get across the stage. And there's a butterscotch candy between its lips. So old.
If y'all ever almost died at a Burger King and found out you wasn't as real of a nigga as you thought you were, that's just me. All right, I was at the counter ordering, and I was on the phone with my cousin, and I was like, "All right, cuz, I'll see you later." There happened to be a Crip standing behind me. Cuz is their word. They don't like when you say that shit. If you don't understand gang culture, it's like when you say Voldemort when you're not supposed to. Glad we on the same page. So he gets mad, he gets in my face, he said, I heard you say cuz, nigga, you with them east side niggas, where you from, nigga? I don't know how to deal with these situations because I went to private school. So I went Donald Trump on the nigga. I said, look, I think there's very fine people on both sides.
I am from Wisconsin, though. That's just what we do. We drank. We have t-shirts in our airport that say, drink Wisconsinably. My first shot of hard liquor was Everclear. If you don't know what that is, congratulations. You have homework. It's 190 proof grain liquor. And that being your first shot is a lot like losing your virginity to a traffic cone. Everything else is smooth sailing.
Need to lose some weight. And yes, it is for sex reasons. It's not that I'm not having it. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm not on Reddit or nothing. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm good. The issue is stamina. And I'm not talking about coming too quick. At least if you come too quick, you came. Talking about running out of breath. Running out of breath at inopportune times. You know what I'm talking. Somebody here knows what I'm talking about. Oh, Jamel, don't stop. I should probably stop. You need to let me stop. I took my Fitbit off. I don't know what's happening inside of me.
You know what it is? When you with somebody for a while, you start to notice stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, don't try to play me, dog. Your lady's fine. My lady fine, too. Don't try to play me. But her feet. The feet fucked up. From the ankle up, she's beautiful. From the ankle up, look like Faith Evans. Beautiful black woman. You understand what I'm saying? From the ankle down, whoo. Morgan Freeman. It's messed up. No. Because you can't cuddle with no woman with bad feet. You know what I'm saying? You know when you try to do that figure four leg lock, you wrap your legs up. The first time my wife, she scraped the whole side of my, it wasn't nothing but blood and glass in my shin. I thought she had some shoes on in the bed. I said, girl, how you gonna get in the bed with your Timberland cleats on? She said, Sean, you so crazy, I ain't got no shoes on. I said, bitch, you could break out of jail with them feet. What's wrong with you? You could just kick the wall down. She said, Sean, you just not used to dating an athletic woman. I said, girl, you better show me some gold medals.
I think I'm too direct for a lot of the ways that we do things now. Like, I don't date online at all. I don't get it. I don't get how you're all finding people to fuck off stills. It doesn't make sense to me that you're just looking at a picture and being like, for sure, that genitalia in my mouth. What? I don't get it. They need to move. Like, they need to be like, at least like a newspaper in Harry Potter. Like, I need the technology to catch up. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, because that could happen later tonight. You could go to a bar after this, find somebody that you think is cute, and then see them get up to go to the bathroom and realize that they don't alternate their arms or legs when they walk. Like, that could totally happen. Like, you could text someone for 2 weeks and then walk into a bar and they could be like, oh my God, I'm so glad we're finally getting to meet. Like, that could happen.
Tell you what I am afraid of, though, is hippos. They kill 4,000 people a year and we treat them like a bunch of neon overeating dickheads. I get why they're lashing out. I get why they're upset. Here's the fucked up thing about hippos. They kill 4,000 people a year and they're vegetarians. Which means they're just hunting us for sport. Have you ever seen a vegan break a horse's neck? No. That'd be a very off-brand message.
And now, I no longer work at a luxury boutique sex shop, which means I'm just an average civilian with a wealth of extremely specialized knowledge that is not useful outside of that context. For example, Recently, I was in San Francisco visiting my family, and my father and sister found themselves trapped in the car with me while I explained to them in great detail the dangers of garlic clove anal suppository. So the reason for that is, science lesson, real quick. The reason for that is you actually have two sphincters in your butt. There is the one that you know about, which you can control. Some of you just tried it right now. And then 3 to 5 inches up, there's actually another one, which you have no control over, which is for holding everything in, which is great because it keeps you from pooping your pants all the time. But it does mean if you put something small without a flared base, such as a garlic clove, into your butt, there's a good chance your body is gonna it right up. And then that's just a bad episode of Grey's Anatomy. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, you can take the kid out of the sex shop, but you can't take the garlic clove out of your butt. That's so stupid. So dumb.
I was watching this video. This woman, she puts 13 mozzarella sticks into a waffle iron to make a waffle made of mozzarella sticks. And as I was watching this video, I was just overcome with this feeling that we are very broken right now. Like, we have so little time on this earth, and this woman is choosing to use that time to try to make carnival food into brunch food. And I can't stop thinking about her. I feel like her marriage is on the rocks. Martha, put the waffle iron down. The kids miss you. Fuck you, Steve. I'm an influencer now. I feel like she's very depressed, is what I'm trying to say. And I mean, I can relate. I used to have debilitating depression, but now it's not so bad. Now I only have seasonal depression. Yeah, but it is all of the seasons.
My parents, though, they're the reason that I've always been obsessed with love, because I grew up hearing their love story. See, they met on a blind date, got engaged on the second date, married 6 months later, happily married now for over 30 years, right? Yeah. Beautiful story of love. True story, my mom needed a green card and it worked out, but you know, love is love. My dad's actually from Mexico. My mom is from Argentina, and both of them are Jewish, so that's what happened here. And yeah, if you wondered the arithmetic on that, it's pretty much Mexican Jew plus Argentinian Jew equals a guy that looks like he loves the Gap, which is true. I do. I love a good pair of khakis. And some people get thrown off when I say that I'm Latino, especially when I pronounce it Latino. They're just like, no. Somebody studied abroad.
You know, I did enough introspection to realize that, you know, I don't know, I used to be one of these guys who, you know, straight guys love to be like, oh man, I didn't have sex in high school, and that's trauma, you know? But, like, I worked through it. And you know, I've had enough sex now to realize that it's mostly just logistics, right? Like, you're having sex sometimes, but you're mostly just like typing on the phone and typing on the computer, you know. And sometimes you have sex, but you're mostly just like typing on the phone, typing on the computer, and like at a certain point, I just felt like I was like doing tech support for women with personality disorders, you know.
I think skinny people and fat people can coexist. Cancel me! I think it's possible. I do, but fat people, we have to be careful around skinny people. Yeah, you can't talk. If you're a fat person, you can't talk about being active too quick around a skinny person because y'all get too excited. Like, as a fat person, I'll be like, I think I'm gonna go on a walk later, and a thin person in the room I've never met will be like, yes, bitch, you don't have to live this way. God damn. Okay.
I took the same biology class like 7 times in high school because I break stereotypes. And it's fucked up because everything we learned in biology, like we knew we were never gonna see again. Sometimes at Starbucks, when they ask me for my name, I say mitochondria, just to use it. Just to say I used it. Of course, they always misspell it and mispronounce it. We have a vanilla bean frappuccino for Marie Kondo. Just, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I just turned 30, everyone. No, thank you. It's not a woo birthday. It's not. 30 is just one of those. I feel like you turn 30 and young people are like, you're old. And old people are like, you don't know what the fuck old is. You're like, okay. All right. I will just sit here in the corner because standing is starting to hurt my back. Like, that's what 30 is. It's a weird age. I don't know. I feel like I'm at 30. I feel like I just have this now irresistible hankering to acquire real estate. Like, that's just driving around looking at houses like, how do I get one of these goddamn things? I want an abode, goddammit. What do I need to do to get one of these? And I know it's not just me, because all my friends in this age bracket, I used to sneak up on them on their computers. They'd be like looking at porn. Now it's just Zillow. I'm like, what are you doing, you sick fuck? They're like, what? I wasn't gonna buy it. I just want to know what the market was like in this area.
So I'm swiping away on Tinder, swiping away. I match with a hat guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the breed, but he was wearing a hat in every single photo of himself. Which means one of three things, right? One, he loves hats. Loves them. Two, he is bald. Three, he loves hats and is bald. It's usually number three.
Not to brag, I have been to Barstow. I was there and I ate at the Olive Garden. You guys familiar with the brand? Yes. I love Olive Garden because they celebrate chosen family. And I also love Olive Garden because even though I didn't lose my feet to diabetes, I want everyone to think I did. I want them to see me rolling in there and go, damn, look at that high-risk bitch just returning to the scene of the crime.
Last week I had the best fucking week of my life. My mother-in-law came and picked my son up, and I was smoking weed, and it was just me and my wife in the house, and she walked around with her titties out because you can't do that with a fucking baby that was breastfed. And nigga be 5 and still be like, we still eating? We still doing this? No, you pull them out. Don't fucking pull them out. Well, put the motherfuckers up then if I can't have none. So she's going, she's free, she got the titties free, it's very natural, geographic in the house, you know what I mean? I'm smoking, and I fucked up and turned to Fox News. But I ain't catch it at first because I don't listen to the news, I just watch it. It'd be muted. I was listening to DMX. But I was watching Tucker Carlson. There was a lot going on. So I'm just getting high, you know. So I'm getting high, I'm watching Tucker Carlson, and all of a sudden on the screen, I see 50% of all murders committed in the United States were committed by black people. I don't know if y'all know this, but you can't do math high. Because all I heard was 50% and black people and murder. And nobody was home except me and my wife. And 50% of 2. No, she's a killer. I'm in a house with a murderer.
I dated a guy who wanted to try role play in bed. And that is difficult for me because I have to establish my birthmark as a part of any character that I play. Because if I don't, here's what happens. I start the scene and I'm like, hi, I'm your hot nurse Chloe and I'm here for anything you need. And my boyfriend would be like, hey, Nurse Chloe, say, what's that on your face? And I'd have to be like, what the hell, Jeff? why are you talking about this right now? You see my birthmark every day. And he'd be like, yeah. But in this scenario, we don't know each other. And I have to be like, okay, sure. Maybe you don't realize most strangers never mention my birthmark, right? Nobody's quite that forward. And he'd be like, yeah. But in this scenario, my character doesn't have a filter. And I'd be like, okay, then my character doesn't want to fuck you.
I prefer weed. And people will be like, oh, do you you smoke with the baby in the house? I'm like, are you nuts? Like she'd break my bong. Like that would be tragic. It's just. But I don't know if you guys have been to a dispensary, but like part of why I smoke weed is to help with my anxiety. But every time I go to a dispensary, I have a panic attack because why are there so many kinds of weed? Like this, it's a scam, right? Like you walk into a dispensary and there's always like a young hot girl in a lab coat, and I'm like, okay, I'll play along, and she's like, this strain is like really amazing because like it helps you feel creative, but it also helps you relax. And then she'll go to the next one and she's like, and this one's really amazing because it makes you feel artistic, but you can also chill. And then she'll go to the next one and she's like, and this one's really amazing because it makes you want to like make stuff, but you can also nap. And I'm like, those are all the same.
Y'all seem freaky. I'll give y'all some tips on the OnlyFans. Tip 1, treat that shit like the grocery store. Your mom always taught you, don't grocery shop while you hungry. Don't be scrolling on OnlyFans while you horny, dog. I was on this shit down bad a couple weeks ago, bought the same video twice. I was like, fuck it, I've seen reruns, let's go.
And if you drink a lot and you're not sure if you're an alcoholic, just pay attention, because the world will give you clues. One of my clues was a country music song called When I Taste Tequila. And the premise of the song is every time this guy tastes tequila, he thinks of one person. He thinks of his ex-girlfriend and all the fun times they had together. And I'm like, whoa, when I taste tequila, it's just a montage of dicks. Just like the 2008 to 2011 Marquette men's basketball team. College was a blackout. In a couple of different ways.
My grandma got me the first job I ever had. I was an employee. I was a seasonal employee at the now closed Masters Tuxedo and Costumes and Cleaners. I was a seasonal employee. It was 2 seasons. The first one was springtime. This was prom season. This was the best season because every weekend I would find money in tuxedo returns. Every single Saturday I worked there without fail. I would find cash, unused disposable cameras, and way too many condoms. Way too, like one nigga has rented one suit. 18 condoms. You got the suit for one day. You holding condoms for the whole class?
You know what? I never thought I'd get married. I didn't think I was that type of dude, because I started off freaky deaky, man. Yeah. I was freaky deaky because I was having sex too young. I started at 15. That's too young. She was 19. I'm telling on her. Everybody's telling now. I'm telling on her. Her name was Anita. Yeah. She was 19, but she was still in high school because she had failed a grade and she was born in September. So she came up to me on early release day. Yeah, she came up on early release day. She said, hey boy, you want to give me head after school? And I said, yes ma'am. But I didn't know what giving head was. I'm only 15 years old, but I couldn't tell her no. She was the coolest girl in school. She could buy a Black & Mild cigarette. Yeah, she could vote, right? I remember she came to school with the I voted sticker on. Everybody was like, oh snap, you got a voice. So I couldn't tell her no.
I wish that we all had a horn that was 1 octave lower in the car. That lets everyone know that you know you've made a mistake. and you're no longer accepting outside feedback. That's really what I need. Like we all have a hant, I need a honk. I need like a low, like a baritone to let everyone leave me alone. So when I'm in the middle of an intersection, someone will be like, what is this idiot? And you just hear honk and be like, she knows, she knows. Please let me finish this 8-point turn. I'm very stressed.
I love sports, but as I've gotten older, there's a lot about sports that's pretty silly as you get older, like sports jerseys. That's pretty silly as you get older, because when you're a little kid, you're wearing like your hero's jersey. That's different. When you're older than the players, now you're just wearing some young boy's work shirt. You don't know that boy. Why are you wearing his work clothes? It's strange. We go into a store, we go, hello, good sir, I'll take that young boy's work shirt. What do I have going on tonight? Glad you asked. I'm gonna dress up like this athletic young boy that I admire. The one that I watch on the TV. I'm gonna show up at his job. I'm gonna show up at his place of business. Cosplaying as him. What am I gonna do while he works his shift? Well, I'm gonna get hammered. I'm gonna get shit-faced. Barely gonna be able to stand by the end of his shift. And then I'm gonna tell all the boys who work at the baseball factory in the other city what disgusting little pigs I think they are. So me and my dad have something to talk about.
So I'm non-binary, transmasculine. I know, I contain so many multitudes, it's exhausting. Okay, you're all good people. I hope you sleep well tonight. A few years ago, I started testosterone, which is why I have the mustache of the coolest boy in 8th grade. Fun fact about testosterone, it tends to change people's sexual orientation. So, after an entire lifetime of being a practicing lesbian, for the first time ever, I find myself attracted to men. Dead silence. I can feel you guys just get worried for me. You're like, ooh, they're about to find out. I know. I was a lesbian, now I'm starting to date men. It's really like I was born with a get out of jail free card, and I'm like, but you know, I've never tried jail.
This is a little parenting advice. Do not follow your nanny on TikTok. Just don't. Like, because you've never met someone in person and then checked out their TikTok page and be like, oh, I respect you more now. My nanny, she was also a pole dancer, not just a nanny. Yeah, she was a pole dancer, which I'm like completely fine with. I think it's awesome. Like, I'm all for body expression and all of that. Like, I'm not a conservative anymore. And I think that's great. You know, my neighbors were a little confused because she was a live-in nanny. She brought her pole with her. And I mean, at one point we were just the boring lesbians down the street, and then all of a sudden I'm getting texts and they're like, hey, there's a woman with nipple tassels sliding down a pole in your front yard. And I'm like, oh yes, no need to fret, that's just the woman we're paying to raise our child. While we lock ourselves in the bedroom to drink.
My fiance's obviously come and like visited my family, you know, in Mexico and Argentina, and in an effort to better communicate with them, she started to learn how to speak Spanish, which is very wonderful, very sweet. But bad news for me, because now I have to learn how to actually say sexy things in the bedroom, because up until now I've been getting away with some bullshit. Because here's the thing, I've never like felt like a sexy dude, right? But like Spanish, that was my secret weapon, right? Especially with women that didn't speak Spanish, because I could say almost anything, and to them, it just like sounded sexy. You know, I could be like, ay mi amor, te voy a coger como un payaso. Which means I'm gonna fuck you like a clown. Right? Accurate, not sexy. And in the past, it was fine. fine. In the past, it was fine. She'd be like, oh yeah, Mr. Payaso, you know? And I had to be like, yeah, that's not weird. It's cool, yeah. But now she's a student. She's like, oh yeah, what does that mean? And I'm like, oh no, I gotta pivot. I gotta be sexy in English. I gotta translate. So I try my best, right? I'm like, oh yeah, no, it means I'm gonna fuck you like a lion. She's like, wait, isn't the word for lion leon? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's one of those words that doesn't translate well. It's different words mean different things in different countries. It's the imperfecto. I got C+ because of this shit, so it's don't think too hard about it. It's fine.
Do we have any like straight guys here with painted fingernails? This isn't a trap or anything. This is a yes. Oh, well, cool. This is not a trap or anything. What's your name?
Max.
Max? Okay, cool. Max is a sexual predator. I see right through your ruse. I see right through your ruse to get she/they pussy. Okay? I see right through it. I see right through it. No, it's not okay, you know? If a straight guy has colorful nails, they're guilty of gray area sexual misconduct, right? Like, it's like how, like for every colorful nail, you know, like how when like a guy murders people, he'll get like a teardrop tattoo. Like every colorful nail on a straight guy's hand, that's a weird date that they've been on. You know, it's not okay, you know. All you fellas who are gay for pussy, you're on notice.
I worked with kids. My favorite kids were the ones who were always getting in trouble, the ones who broke the rules. I thought they were cool as hell. I was like, fight the power. Ultimately, I was the power, but I still, you know, I love those kids. And I had this one kid, he was constantly breaking the rules right in front of my face. He had no respect for me. I would die for him. I was like, that is correct. Do not respect these people in charge. But one day there was another teacher in the room, and they were like shadowing me, and he was on his phone for a long time, so I had to like, you know, kind of be the boss. And so I went up to him and I was like, hey man, you know that I don't even care about shit like this. But, you know, why don't you put that phone away for me, all right? And he said back to me in a completely quiet classroom, probably the loudest I've ever heard anybody say anything, fuck you, Rosie O'Donnell. I said, that's an interesting point. Let's go to the hallway. So I was like, okay, now I gotta go out there and like step to him as a man. This is a 12-year-old. I have to like come to him man to man. And I went out there and I got on his level and I said, first of all, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Yeah, you nailed it. Fat, white, gay. Either one of us at any moment, if we so chose, could win an Oscar. You killed it when you said that, and I'm proud of you. But then I had to tell him something really devastating. I didn't want to tell him this. This broke my heart. But I had to look this kid in the eyes and tell him, you're gay. And look, the facts are the facts. You're a 12-year-old boy who knows who Rosie O'Donnell is.
Hard to find love, you know? I'm bisexual, and I thank you so much. Representation matters. I'm bisexual, and I also don't really have a type, so it's all a gamble, you know? It's all a gamble. And it's really interesting when I date men, especially non-Asian men, because they're always shocked when they find out I'm not society's bullshit definition of what an Asian woman's supposed to be, you know? I'm not traditional, I'm not submissive, I'm wild as fuck. And that's the truth. Like, I'm down for it all, okay? But there's one thing I will absolutely not let slide. There's this guy I was hooking up with. He comes over one night, steps into my apartment, and off the bat tells me he wants to try anal. I'm looking at him like, not so fast. Shoes off. Okay, what the fuck do you think this is?
I gotta start making decisions like, do I want to have kids? You know, it's a big one. I don't know. Like, I think I do, but I have to be honest, it does scare the shit out of me. The idea of like bringing a human life into this world, being with it, caring for it all the time. I'm like, what if I have a kid and it's a dud? Like, what if the kid just sucks and it's not my fault? Now I'm hanging out with a loser 100% of the time? I'm not getting invited to parties because I'm dragging around this fucking narc? I got a great group of friends. Now, I'm not at the barbecue just because my kid wants to do witchcraft in the backyard. I don't think so.